Unfortunately, that's frozen there. When we do get better connection, we'll head back over to that live. The youth in Nigeria who championed the EndSARS protest have elected their leaders. The youth who mobilized on social media platforms have now elected their leaders and advisors. The plan for elections was revealed by a group, an unidentified group, BNI, which made provisions for an online voting process via a Google form. The form was widely circulated via WhatsApp, encouraging people to vote for state and also federal leaders and advisors, according to local media. We're now being joined by one of the representatives nominated for the Lagos Judicial panel, MAJEKODUNMI TEMITOPE. Many thanks for joining us today on Newsday, TEMITOPE, to look into this panel more. Tell us, from your point of view, what you hope that we can achieve through this panel.
Thank you for having me. It is like we've always been advocating as youths. We are the true protesters and we really know what we want. What we are trying to achieve, or what we'll be achieving with this panel, is to ensure that we get justice for every victim of police brutality, specifically in Lagos. So, and also to ensure that we build some level of trust between the people and the police, as it were.
Well, Temitope, the nature of the EndSARS protest has been leaderless, largely. What sort of pressure comes with being nominated to represent the youth at this judicial panel of inquiry and restitution in Lagos State?
I have this opportunity to reiterate again that though we are leaderless, but we are not structureless. Pressures, yeah, there are pressures because I feel now that there are a large level of distrust between the people and the government. So for us that we are being assigned to be in the forefront to represent, we are at, let's say we are at a point where we just need to be very careful. That's the pressure I see, the pressure where the people do not even 100% trust us. Yes, they have appointed us, but they fear that we don't compromise.
MAJEKODUNMI.
And that I will use this opportunity to say again that they have been.
Okay, we apologize for the poor audio coming out there from MAJEKODUNMI. Temitope, can you hear me clearly now? And let's try that one more time. I heard you to the point you said there's pressure because even the youth do not trust you as their representative because they fear compromise may come into this. That's the last time we heard clearly what was coming out from your end.
Yeah. So I'm saying that they fear that the two representatives could easily be compromised. But what we've been saying to all of us is that it's not about the two representatives. We are all in it together. The kind of structure we modeled to have said that there is no one particular leader is that it's an all-inclusive panel, both on the side of the government and on the side of the youth. Thank you.
So what strategy have you developed to be able to ward off this pressure, both from the side of maybe the panel, and then from your side, because no matter how one looks at it, the question of trust, you have to find a way to handle it because you still have to deal with the people. So what strategy is in place to be able to overcome that? And can you explain this group BNI?
Basically, the consensus is reached based on coalition of all interest group. So I wouldn't specifically talk about BNI or one group or another group. because we all have different groups with one common interest. So consensus was reached based on all of the coalition groups. That's that. And what strategy we have in place is transparency being our watchword, ensuring that we hear every of our proceeding live and direct, and also that we ensure that we are accountable as per all that we are involved in. We don't, and I would also want to assure our youth that it was just sitting, that we have tension involving lawyers. This is involving our journalists, our social media influencers. So it's not about the two of us that is representing, it's about the entire youth body. I insist is an all-inclusive panel. We all are going to be involved. So many people are already showing interest that they want to follow the proceedings bomber to bomber. So we are also hoping that we'll get enough opportunity to stream everything live for people to see what is going on.
It would be great for the government to ensure those provisions so that this is as public as it can possibly be. What else do you feel the government needs to do at this point in time to really affirm their commitment to young Nigerians? This is certainly a step in the right direction, but what else would you say we need to see at this point in time to feel that trust or want to have that trust for our government, one's government?
Okay, what we think the government can do better on is to also do what they can in their various capacity to build trust. They need to ensure that they have told us that this will be independent as possible as it can be. So they should allow the panel act based on that premise. No interference, and they should also be. I think one thing again the government can do for us is the youth still fear victimization. So the government should reiterate their commitment to ensuring that we are in a free state. That is necessary. It is, and that we feel if they do, we continue to gather more trust in them. That way we can always have a peaceful state.
I guess you're talking about protection of witnesses who may come forward. But let me ask you, TEMITOPE, because over the weekend, the government did say that the scope of this judicial panel of inquiry and restitution has been expanded to include the Lekki toll shootings. Are you confident that justice will be served at that panel? And what are you going with to the panel? Do you have evidence? Are you gathering evidence? What exactly are you going with to that panel?
Thank you. First, what we are going into the panel, based on the decision of all the youth coalition, is that we are demanding that the probe panel be in two phases. First is for the police brutality case of before and maybe within the context.
Okay, we might be having connection problem with MAJEKODUNMI, who is one of the two youth representatives on the Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution by the Lagos State Government that is set to begin sitting today. TEMITOPE, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm back, please.
Great, so, go ahead.
Our
Go ahead if you can hear me. I was asking what you're taking to the panel, especially because the scope has been expanded to include the Lekki shootings of Tuesday. I'm not sure we have the connection, but guys, this panel starting sitting today. Finally, we have representative of the youths. I'm not sure a lot of people saw that coming.
Well,
I saw it coming.
You know,
okay.
This has been the issue from the onset, the need, because whatever happens anywhere in the world over history, it always invariably ends at the negotiating table. So
Great.
You must be able to provide people who can negotiate with you. We'll be back in a bit. I will continue with the rest of the program. You're still watching News. Stay here on Arise News. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsday and our special coverage of the aftermath of the EndSARS protests in Nigeria. Well, before that break, we were speaking to one of the youth representatives on the Lagos Judicial panel, which begins sitting today, MAJEKODUNMI TEMITOPE. Temitope, thank you for staying with us. We do hope that the connection is better this time around. So I was asking you, what exactly would be your demands? What are you going with to the panel, especially because the government over the weekend expanded its scope to include the shootings at the Lekki Toll Plaza, not just a judicial panel of inquiry and restitution now, but also for the Lekki Toll shootings?
So in response to government's scope, expansion scope, we also are saying that there should be two phases to this probe. The first is for the EndSARS, as we have been demanding, and the second is for the Lekki shooting. So why the Lekki shooting should come later is because we have thought from many of our research that we need victims to gather strength. We need victims to come out of the experience, the trauma that they have been in. So for purpose of fair hearing and for us to also gather the necessary evidences to get justice for everyone victim that was involved at that shooting ground. So it's why we are saying that they should allow the probe to be in two classes.
Okay, beautiful.
That's our plan. That's our strategy.
Good, great. So this is going to take 6 months, and after 6 months, it could be, extended. I hope people will have the stamina to go the whole hog. And then secondly, after this, what next for the youths like you?
So first, I would like to say that our stamina goes beyond 6 months, goes beyond 2023, goes beyond 2025. The fight for a new Nigeria is where peace and unity is restored, is what our emblem is what we are after. So it goes beyond now. It comes to where we feel that in a state we are all free to live as one. So that's on the strength side. And after the whole of this probe, we still continue to seek for a better Nigeria. Yes, EndSARS was our outcry for this very protest, but is like a cover page for the Nigerian that we seek, the Nigerian that we want to hand over to our own children. So the strength is there. We are the Sorosoke generation. So that is how strengthened we are at the moment.
Thanks, Temitope. And in terms of how you personally feel, what results do you personally want to know that you are coming out of this panel with? What are those findings that are so key to you as a young person that you know you're sitting on this panel for?
I must confess that at this level, if that question was asked yesterday, I would have answered better. But at this level, my concern or my hunger for whatever comes out is based on what the entire youth demands. It's based on what the entire youth demand. For now, I reserve my personal opinion, but my personal opinion as it is in line with all the coalition, what we all want as Lagos youths, precisely. Thank you.
MAJEKODUNMI Temitope, thank you so much. We at Arise News will be following the proceedings from that panel, and we wish you the very best.